And we're live. Right behind you. What was that? Oh, and you don't have anything on your laptop? Yes, if you just want to use your phone.
I'll call the meeting to order at 12:40 p.m. First item is the territorial land acknowledgement. Before our meeting gets underway, I would like to formally recognize the traditional keepers of this land, and specifically our neighbors of the Alderville First Nation, with a formal territorial acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that the township of Walmacolman is located on the Mississauga and Anishinaabe territory and is the traditional territory of the Mississauga and Anishinaabe. The township of Walmacolman respectfully acknowledges that the Mississauga Nation are the collective stewards and caretakers of these lands and waters in perpetuity, and that they continue to maintain this responsibility to ensure their health and integrity for generations to come. Thank you. Next item is item 3, moment of silence for our fallen soldiers and citizens. As well as the world is watching, we keep Ukraine and the people of Ukraine in our thoughts and prayers. We'll have the moment of silence. Thank you. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? Seeing none. Approval of the agenda as circulated. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular council session of Thursday, March 3rd, 2022 be approved as circulated. Moved by Councillor Phil, second. Councillor Hogg, all in favor? Carried. Approval of the minutes. These are the regular council session minutes of February 3rd, 2022. Be it resolved that the regular council session minutes of Thursday, February 3rd, 2022 be approved. Delivered. Councillor Phil, second by Deputy Mayor Gibson, all in favor? Carried. Any business arising from the previous minutes? We need to set a new date to review and update the Parks Master Plan. Okay, anybody got ideas? Prior to our Thursday meeting next time, which is the 17th? That morning, does that work? Troy?
Through you, Mayor, maybe what we can do is send out like a doodle poll or whatever to council just to keep things going. And it will throw out some dates and times, and we can, through this little poll or survey, we'll be able to determine what is the best date instead of everyone just going through their calendars right now.
That's fine with me. Is it fine with everyone?
Okay,
Well, we-
we'll send something out, possibly tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Item 8.1 is.
Hold on a second.
Sorry?
There was just a question about business arising from the minutes.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Maybe through you, your worship, to Troy, because I don't see if the acting clerk's not here. It mentioned, Troy, that the acting clerk was going to give us a report back about the water testing. Do you know if that's
That'll
coming
be
next meeting?
March 17th meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Anything further?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, all in favor? Carried. Item 8.1 is Building and Planning Department, and the first report is from Daryl Hall. And be it resolved that the report from Daryl Hall, CBO, MVEO Planning Assistant, dated March 3rd, building permit summary, February 2022, be received and filed, but we'll let him speak to it. Could I have a mover to get it on the floor?
Yeah.
Councillor Phil, second by Councillor Booth. Daryl, anything you wish to?
Well, thank you. Good afternoon, council. Yeah, this is just my building summary report for February, just where we are with permits, and we brought in for money wise on the permits and the total of permits. And then some breakdowns on what each permit are and how many were per month. So, yeah, if anybody has any questions with it, I can certainly answer them, but it's just for information for council where the building permit summary is.
Thank you. Any questions from council?
I just have a comment.
Councillor Phil?
Through the mayor, Darrell, it looks like next year's going to be another good year. Seems like there's lots on the docket. Would you agree, or?
Yeah, I definitely would agree. Over the past couple of years, it seemed to, January and February were always slow times when I first took on this position. The last 2 to 3 years, there's been no slowdown as far as permits coming in. We received a couple more new single family dwellings on the desk again this week. So it's a good sign that it's going to be another good year for sure.
Okay, nothing else? All in favor of this report? Carried. And the next report is his report on bylaw infractions. Be it resolved that the report from Daryl Hall, CBO and MVEO Planning Assistant, dated March 3rd, 2022, read bylaw infractions be received and filed. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Hall, second, Councillor Phillips. Any questions or comments for Daryl? Seeing none, any comments, Daryl, from you?
No, other than just a little update on infraction 3 with the fill being trucked in at the lake shore. I just had a conversation with conservation this morning, and they have a site meeting there this afternoon to meet with the gentleman. So once we hear back from conservation, we'll proceed in our end with a fill permit to the gentleman. So we're just, that's just some update on that one I just received this morning.
Okay, thank you. All in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. Item 9.1, report from Jennifer Steen, Reed Parks and Rec and Culture Coordinator. Sorry. Be it resolved that the report from Jennifer Steen, Parks, Recreation and Cultural Coordinator, dated March 3rd, 2022, Parks, Recreation and Culture update be received and filed. And we have 2 reports, Parks, Recreation, Cultural update and 2022 schedule of events, programs in draft. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Phillips, and seconded by Deputy Mayor Gibson. Don't move out of that spot in the corner, Sheriff. Okay. Any questions, council? Any concerns? Jennifer, anything from you?
I would just like to bring up the recommendation from the committee here on the 2022 Civic Awards. I'll just read it out loud. The Recreation and Culture Advisory Committee recommend adding an additional category for the 2022 Civic Awards to recognize an individual and/or business that has gone above and beyond to provide help in the community during the COVID-19 pandemic. So they'd like to add that category for this year.
Anyone have an issue with that? No, that's fine. I have a little comment here. I'm not sure, I just want to discuss the council. I'm not sure how everyone is feeling about it, is the Parks Master Plan review. We had an ad hoc committee that spent quite a bit of time doing that, and we're behind in it. And at this point, I would like to see our strat meeting go first, and after that decide if we need further input, because I think we've got to look at all the finances as well. Whether it should go back for other public consultation, or whether it is recommended that it is moved forward. So if that could be removed until we get our meeting over with. What do you think?
That sounds reasonable to me.
Anyone else?
Neil, do we have a date for that strat plan?
Well, that's the one that we're going to get the email on to get it rescheduled.
But isn't that the Parks Master Plan that's the meeting, right?
The strat plan for that.
No, we were going to send out a meeting request date to review the Parks Master Plan
Yes,
and the ad hoc committee recommendations that, you know, we tried to do it a couple times, unfortunately haven't been able to do it. So we need to reschedule to discuss that, all those recommendations from the ad hoc committee from 2019.
yes, but this isn't part of that ad hoc committee. This would be starting over, basically. Not totally starting over, but I'm just saying, I think we're better off to follow the flow of what we're doing, and then if we need more input from the public, we can take it back to the new committee. Because that was a separate ad hoc committee that worked quite hard.
Yeah, they did a lot of work in 2019. They provided council their recommendations. We just sort of received and filed. What staff is going to do is bring it back on the table, go through those recommendations, and just allow council and the public to know what we have done and some of our plans to go forward with those recommendations, because I really do think that they're of value that needs to be back on the table, some of them.
Well, some of them we brought back, yes.
Yeah, so we will do that and go forward from the results of that meeting.
Okay, now you've got me confused.
Yes, so now you're confusing me as well, because are we deleting this here for right now until we get that done?
Jennifer, you might be able to help me out, but I
Okay.
thought our plan was to bring that ad hoc committee recommendations with the Parks Master Plan, just to review it, just to get it on the table, update it, and go from there.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay,
All right,
Okay.
and we'll send that email out tomorrow of a date that we can pick to discuss that.
But page 2 of the Parks and
Yeah, I think-
Recreation update at this time, on page 2, the second paragraph, we omit that at this time until we know if we're going to need that.
Through you, Mayor Latchford, that recommendation, you're right, there's 2 recommendations that came forth on this report, and one was from the They're both from the Recreation and Cultural Advisory Committee, and one was on the Parks Master Plan Review, and that this report was originally, and that recommendation were to go to the February 17th meeting that was canceled. So yes, that I think that recommendation could wait until the meeting is rescheduled. If I was understanding you correctly.
It gives direction as to whether we want to go that route. I mean, I think it's good that they're interested, but I think we got some work to do first. Would you?
Yeah, I get, I still think that Troy has clarified the
Yeah,
the
steps. So we're all in agreement to that?
So we'll wait for Troy to, oh, sorry, Sherry's.
Sherry?
Sherry may have a comment. Do you have a comment, Sherry?
Yeah, so just in reply, Mayor Latchford, we're rescheduling the canceled February 17th meeting. We've got an agenda with a package. So that's that was a lot of information. It included the Parks Master Plan plus comments from the ad hoc committee. And I think what the advisory committee is suggesting is that this just be maybe refreshed on our website so that people can review it. And I don't know, Jennifer, maybe I've got that wrong. Because I think it's a package together that we want to look at.
But I'll read this. Furthermore, it is our recommendation, this is the Recreation and Cultural Advisory Committee, that council develop and initiate a public consultation process for input on a community hub in Grafton, as laid out in the ad hoc committee's recommendation. This public consultation should endeavor to contact and glean input from as large a cross-section of the public as possible in order to gather a clear picture of public will.
Where are you reading that from, Gail?
I'm reading it from the second is Parks Master Plan Review. And then
It's page 30 of the agenda.
yeah. So I'm just saying, until we get our work done and know what we're doing and what recommendations we want to do back and what we think we can do financially, do we really need that?
But I think that's a decision that we need to make when we hold this meeting, because it's part of that agenda package. I think that would be something that we have discuss on the table and say, yay or nay, let's move ahead or let's postpone that. I think it's getting ahead of ourselves to be making decisions on this agenda package that we haven't even had the meeting for yet.
Yeah, we can handle it then.
It's really just providing updates and the status of what has been done. And yeah, we go from there. It's really just an update and get it on the table to talk about it. And then we can make decisions or whatever from that. If any.
It's not the way I read it. That's okay.
I get it now too. It's okay. I see it as being okay to handle it that way myself.
Okay.
Yeah, we can adjust it or review it. That's fine. Review the whole thing.
Okay, so this will be one motion and we go on with the schedule of events and programs. Everybody's happy then with the first part? Let me see. Greg?
Just a question for you, your worship, to Jennifer. Jennifer, is Tai Chi coming back to Centerton? Do you know? I don't see it, or is that under the dancing / fitness?
Yeah, it is scheduled to return to Centerton, not March, but hopefully in April or May.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? I have a question. Your draft calendar of events, Jennifer, I just would like some clarification. Canada Day Parade and Celebration. Is the Parks and Rec Committee doing that? And are you the coordinator of that?
Yes, the Parks and the Grafton Sports and Events Committee reached out expressing interest in running the event this year with help from the Recreation and Culture Advisory Committee. So the two groups are going to work together, and they're going to pull some volunteers from their committee and some volunteers from the Rec and Culture Committee to work on this event.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. And, oh, sorry, go ahead, Mike.
I have one question as well, and that is the Year of the Garden. That date for most gardeners is late. I imagine you had to choose a date and you didn't have wiggle room there, Jennifer, but it would be better in May when people are actually planting and germinating seeds and so on. I mean, germinating seeds is actually next month or this month. But,
Mike, that's probably because they have a council rep that doesn't do any gardening.
I'm a gardener, and I can tell you that there are 2 plant sales ahead of you in May for sure. And I think you should get, if you can, I would consider moving that date out.
Thank you, Councillor Phillip. If I could just speak to that for, just so you know that the proclamation for Year of the Garden determined that June 18th was the day for the Year of the Garden, but our events, and that's actually been updated. So this draft calendar events is a working document and it's been changed. And we do have a couple workshops, one in March actually that's already starting, and we're going to be making some seed bombs. And I'm working with the library and Grafton Green Thumbs on some seed kits for celebrating Year of the Garden.
Great.
This plant sale, is that the Horticultural's annual plant sale? Or is this new?
Yeah, so after this was presented, this draft calendar of events to the Recreation and Culture Advisory Committee, who had some good input as to what the Grafton Green Thumbs and the Horticultural Society currently do. And so they did let me know that they currently do already a plant sale and a garden recognition program. So we've kind of switched gears and are now just going to work on seed giveaways and seed bomb workshops to celebrate the Year of the Garden.
So no plant sale.
Right, we'll support Grafton Green Thumbs and the Horticultural Society in their plant sale, but we won't run our own.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Is it their plant sale June 18th?
No.
No? Okay, I was thinking that's what that was. Okay, and I just have a couple other questions. The summer concerts, are they outside?
Yes,
Okay. Live music outside?
yes.
Yeah, okay. That'll be good. Any further questions? Being none, call for the motion. All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
All right.
Next one's from Nicole, Treasury. My papers were scrambled a bit. Item 10.1, report from Nicole Leach-Bynum, Treasurer. Be it resolved that the report from Nicole Leach-Bynum, I'll get it, Nicole. Treasurer, dated March 3rd, 2022, Finance Department update be received and filed. Could I move it, please? Right, second, Jim? Any questions, comments?
Sorry.
No? Anything, Nicole?
I I just wanted to comment that due to the fact that there was the insurance increase and we haven't been successful in getting any decrease in those premiums, that we have gone back and keeping in mind council's request to keep the budget under 4%. I've been working with Troy and the other departments to revise budget and review any areas that we might be able to find some cost savings. So we will be bringing that back on the 17th. And as I noted as well in my report, we do have a date from Baker Tilly to come in and do our audit of April the 25th. So I will be following up with them this month just to confirm what they are going to need for that date.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Administration, item 11.1, and this is from Pat Kemp regarding the right to disconnect from work policy, Bill 27. Be it resolved that Council of the Township of Alma-Colliman received the report from Acting Clerk dated March 3rd, 2022 regarding the right to disconnect from work policy, and further that staff prepare a policy for Council's approval in March 2022. And further that the policy be distributed to all staff prior to June 2nd, 2022. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Booth, Deputy Mayor Gibson. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Item 11.2. This is regarding the proposed telecommunications tower. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Alma-Colliman received the Administrator's report dated March 3rd, 2022 regarding the proposed telecommunications tower, and further that Council directs staff to assist Rogers Communications to provide public consultation on the proposed telecommunications tower. This is report from Troy Gilmore, CAO. Any questions for Troy? Comments? Any comments from you, Troy?
No, it's just for information. We really don't have a lot of say when it gets into this. We're just going to work with Rogers and go through the proper channels, the proper steps. Financially, we do get a couple grand. It's on private property, but yeah, it's just we'll work with Rogers and getting it all the information out to the public for public input and comments.
Thank you. All in favor?
Actually, we did not take, you did not move or second that motion.
Oh.
I'll move it.
Okay, Councillor Phillips moved it, Councillor Booth just seconded it.
Thank you.
All in favor? Okay, 11.3, this is another report from Troy Gilmore, CAO, sale of surplus land. I'll get this one for you, John. Be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Alma-Colliman received the Administrator's report dated March 3rd, 2022 regarding the surplus land, and further that Council provides the CAO direction on the proposed sale of surplus land as outlined in this report. Can I get a mover for this, please? Councillor Hogg, second. Councillor Booth. Any questions for Greg?
Just through your worship, maybe to Troy. Troy, the actions it talks about that the properties will be assessed And then it talks about a notice to public is given at least 10 days. So can you explain the process to me? If we have somebody go in there and they assess these properties to say they're worth, I don't know, let's say $100,000. Is that offered to the public then to bid on these, or is this, how do we do this? Because with the markets right now, that somebody could appraise it at $100,000 and it could go for $300,000.
Yeah, well, we're hoping that the assessment would be of current value of the times, right? So, yeah, when we get an assessment, it'll go out to the public of, I'm assuming that assessment. I'm not sure if we can put our own number on it. We may be, that'll be a question I'll find out. For example, if they come and assess it at 100,000, if we feel it's, 200,000, we should have that opportunity to do so. But
Does that go on bid and go, or how do we get that out to the public to say that these lands are,
They're listed.
so it's listed where, like,
They're listed.
oh, with the realtor. So if the town picks a real, okay, so they put up Remax or whatever, and then it's, okay.
yeah, it'll be on real estate and the newspapers.
Right, Troy?
Pardon me?
We usually have one or two, a couple of people assess it and then decide which real estate to go with.
We have done that, yes, we have done that in the past, and then there'll be a council decision, and then it goes to realtor and newspaper usually. So, which, I'm sure nowadays we could go on social media as well, so.
Sense. Okay, thank you.
Two comments. First one is directed through the Mayor Troy. What do you see the timing like for the liquidation of these two assets?
Well, we'll go, if council agrees today, we'll start the process right away. I would say within the next few months, we would have these properties sold. I know there's interest in both, so.
And my second comment is just a general comment that I am glad to see that the monies from the Shawano property will go towards PNR. I think that's a prudent decision.
Well, it was land that was given in lieu of park dollars.
Yeah.
Did you have a question, Jim? No. Okay, well, I saw you at the corner of my eye. Deputy Mayor Gibson?
Thank you. Through you, Mayor, and this is maybe just conversation with all of council in that I seem to recall that the old fire hall property was mentioned in the parks master plan in terms of a walking path that would connect the fairgrounds to the parkette. And I just wonder if we're getting ahead of ourselves before we pass the parks master plan or agree to a course of action to sell off this property. And I think it's an exceptional opportunity to grow the village of Roseneath. I think it would make an ideal building lot, but I just am concerned that we're getting ahead of ourselves in terms of, what we've asked for input from the public and our committee.
I think we should find out the value of it. Whether council decides not to sell it after that, or. I mean, most people that I see there drive in to the fairgrounds. Councillor Booth?
I would agree. I like what Sherry's saying. We're just giving you permission though, right now, Troy, to not put the properties up. Are we just getting the appraisal right now and seeing what it's worth?
Yeah, so we can do that if council wishes. We can find out what the property is worth. Also, we can find out, maybe, keeping a piece to ourselves, right, for that walking path. keeping in mind, I just get leery of creating a hiding spot or something from the main roads, right? Because that walking path would be sheltered in amongst buildings, but we can always put something together to find out the costing of that as well, keeping the walking trail for the township. So that may be an option we can go down the road, and it suits both.
Yeah. I'm not against getting a price and having further discussion. I think my caution or my concern would be moving ahead to say we want to declare that surplus and get it sold when I think we need to talk about it in the broader sense with parks, with the
Yep.
parks master plan.
Do we own that park?
Pardon me?
Do we own that park, or does the agricultural society own that
That's township property. So
park?
what I can do is just get an assessment of both properties and then bring it back to council for a further discussion. Or unless council wants to deem the one property surplus, I can get it going on that. So
I think you should bring back a price on both. Because then there's, the choice can still be made.
I can do that.
It's if council's in agreement with that.
When you say own the park, what do you mean? I'm looking at the property. Are you talking about the one up at Roseneath or the one at Shawano?
Roseneath.
Yeah, we don't own that. We own the piece that we're talking about.
I
Yeah.
wasn't sure if we owned it or the fairgrounds.
Owns what? The park?
The little park.
The fire hall with,
Oh, I see. Okay, I don't see it. So it's not where the track is. You're not talking about that.
No, it's beyond. north.
Okay. It looks like it's on a corner lot, and that, I'm guessing the building is the old fire hall, right?
that's correct.
Okay. Well, I like the idea of at least let's find out what they're worth and go from there. Then you can come to council and then council can decide, and it's probably gonna tie in nicely with the Parks and Rec master plan that we're talking about, because I believe that was one of the items that talked about selling off some property, right?
Yep.
You're
I
gonna
can do
sell,
that.
now's the time to probably sell the way the prices are.
Yeah. And if I may, through the mayor, I think there'll be need for some public input on the Shawano piece as well. I expect that there'll be some feedback that the public will want to make on that property.
They made quite a few comments the last time. And then I think we looked at digging a well there and whether or not we divided and decided not.
Yeah.
I gotta get it, the history straight.
Yeah, and basically they want to keep it as a green space. And, I think that's where the conversation ended at that point. So I think we should.
Once it gets public, we'll get comments.
We'll get comments, yeah, I think that would be wise.
Are there benches or anything on there now for the, or is it just a green space? Do they just walk their dogs and stuff like that? And
Correct.
Weeds.
Yeah.
do we cut the grass there or anything, or no, it's
No.
just a empty lot?
Green space,
Okay.
it's not far from the sanctuary. And usually it's the same people that use, or I won't say it's entirely the same people. It tends to be more local residents that use the green space, the unkept green space. But sanctuary is close by, so it's something to consider.
Yes. Can we vote on that?
No, you have to.
Carried. Opposed? No, carried.
And sorry, just for clarification, so the current motion is then to receive and file this report and further that council direct the CAO to proceed in obtaining an appraisal of both properties and bring a report back to council for review.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, item 12, and this is our committee report. Recreation and Cultural Advisory Committee, Lower Trent Conservation Regular Board meeting, December 9th. Alma Coleman Public Library, December 13th and January 10th. And Grafton Communal Water Committee, December 15th. And so the Recreation and Cultural Advisory Committee meeting, December 1st and January 1st. Be it resolved that the Recreation and Cultural Advisory Committee meeting minutes of December 1, 2021 and January 5th, 2022. The Lower Trent Conservation Regular Board meeting minutes of December 9th, 2021. The Alma Coleman Public Library Board meeting minutes of December 13th, 2021. And January 10, 2022, and the Grafton Communal Water Committee meeting minutes of December 15th, 2021, be received and filed. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Phillips, second by Councillor Booth. Are there any questions for any of these meeting minutes? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Item 13, correspondence from Bruce Highcamp, Geocamp Limited, and it's regarding the Hamlet of Grafton Production Well Monitoring Program and its 2021's annual report. Be it resolved that the correspondence from Bruce Highcamp, Geocamp Limited, re Hamlet of Grafton Production Well Monitoring Program, 2021 annual report, permit to take water 5086-9BPM4A, be received and filed. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Phillips, and second. Councillor Booth. Any questions or comments? Quite the report. I just wondered if one of you wanted to give us the Coles Notes version.
Well, I'll do that with Councillor Booth on my side. Councillor Booth has actually chaired the meetings this year and done a great job. And to say it was complicated would be an understatement. But we are in the discovery phase and some concern about what the chemical analysis is, and Mr. Highcamp has done an amazing job at clearing up any anxiety that we had over the well that we're currently using and the potability of the same. But it has eaten up a lot of capital.
Yes.
And a lot of time and a lot of paper from today. And it is a complicated process, but I do assure you and the community, I may say so for myself and Councillor Booth, that Highcamp is doing a very incredible job. Did you want to comment on anything there? I think the rate considerations of the community water, but maybe this is the time for that.
Just the comment that you made, I mean, this is all mandated us from the provincial government, so it's not like we really have a choice when it comes to the monitoring of the wells on that. It is rather costly, but it's something that we have to do, right? And we want to make sure that we're providing safe water. So everything that Mike said was spot on.
Well, thanks to both of you for serving on that committee. I'm sure there's times that's extremely interesting.
You really have to pay attention.
Yes, to the detail.
Yeah.
Okay, any further comments from the council members? All in favor? Carried. 13.2, correspondence from Larry. Oh, sorry. I missed you, Deputy Mayor.
Just through you, Mayor Latchford, I'm going to have to be excused from the meeting, and I will try to return before the end.
Okay. Yolanda will note that.
Mhm.
Thanks. We'll see you shortly.
Yolanda, I'm actually going to leave the meeting.
Okay. Yep.
Next is our correspondence from Larry Sprackle, Lucy, Grafton Drinking Water System Report. The operations report from December 2021 to January 2022. Be it resolved that the correspondence from Larry Sprackle, Lucy, Grafton Drinking Water System Report, operations report, reporting period December 2021 to January 2022 be received and filed. Could I have a mover, please? Councillor Phil. Second. Councillor Hart. Any comments or questions from council before we vote? No, pretty straightforward. All in favor? Carried. Item 13.3, correspondence from Glenn Baldock, local area manager, Canada Post, dated February the 4th. And this is change of weekly hours at the Rosemead Post Office. Be it resolved that the correspondence from Glenn Baldock, local area manager, Canada Post, dated February the 4th, 2022, re-changed to weekly business hours at the Rosemead Post Office be received and filed. So they've increased the hours. I have the letter here. As a result of our new business hours at this post office will, hours at this post office will be the following as of March 7th. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9:30 a.m. till 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Thursday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. So that's an increase in hours.
Good.
Yeah, it is good for Rosemead. There's about 1,000 customers at that post office, and I think now there's 2 rural roads. So that's probably equal to Grafton, this area here in the south. The north is so spread out.
Yeah.
Okay. Any,
Just a quick question, Your Worship, through you to maybe Troy. Troy, have we found out yet now that, and I never get the lady's name right, so correct me, Fern or Fran, who's gone now, who originally signed the contract with us. Have we gone back now to Canada Post to find out who will be taking over from there, or it sounds like that Canada Post is just taking it over? Because I believe in our last negotiations with her, is there increases in the rent coming up again yearly now, or I can't remember what we put in there. I know we wanted to get away from letting it go for 5-6 years and then hitting them with a rent increase. So I think we were talking about like it was 1 or 2%, or I can't remember.
I think it was 5, but don't hold me to that. And usually we do it at budget time. So
what I can say is I do see the ads out there to take over the Rosemead post office. So I don't think they have a person yet. With the help of Nicole, maybe her and I can go just review that contract and make sure that everything is up to our financially or whatever. I know Nicole has done some work looking and making sure that all payments have been paid up and so on and so forth. So we'll review the contract and make sure the finances are according to what is stated. So.
Okay, that's good.
anything further? All in favor? Carried.
Oh, I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, but there was no mover or seconder on that.
I thought Mike did too, and Greg seconded.
No, I was going to, but you started talking.
Yeah.
We can.
Yes,
So Mike,
gotcha.
Where am I now? 13-4. This is correspondence received from Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, February 7th, and it's on affordable housing. And this is from Steve Clark, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. So if any wish to have advice sent to the ministry, even though it was supposed to be in there by Friday, February the 15th, we can have that sent into the office, and that can be answered and sent to the ministry. You got some ideas, what's worked here, what hasn't, what needs to happen? I'm sure it's not too late to get it in. Be it resolved that the correspondence from the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing dated February 7th, 2022, re-affordable housing be received, and further that council direction is required. So, you want receive and file, or do you want, if comments should be
I'm going to receive file.
receive and file? Receive and file. All in favor? Carried.
I'm sorry, Madam Mayor, there was no mover or seconder on that either. Thank you.
Correspondence from David Cassini. I need a mover and seconder.
I'll go with that.
Okay, I'll read it now. Request for innovative recreation experiences and services from the Minister of Environment, Conservation and Parks, dated February 10th. Be it resolved that the correspondence from David Cassini, Minister of the Environment, Conservation and Parks, and ECP, dated February 10th, 2022, Ontario Parks, request for innovative recreation experience and services be received, and further, is there any council direction, or we're receiving any ideas that we would send on that we have here?
I would say receive and file because it's due tomorrow at 11 a.m. Unless Jennifer and Troy and that have anything they wanted to send on.
So Jim made the motion, who's second? Councillor Phil, all in favor? Carried. Item 13.6, this is correspondence from the Township of Adelaide Metcalfe dated February 15th, support of the resolution closing the resolving door of justice. Be it resolved that the correspondence received from the Township of Adelaide Metcalfe dated February 15th, 2022 be received, and further that council direction is required. Have a mover? Receive and file?
Yes.
Moved by Councillor Phillips, second by Councillor Hawes. All in favor? Carried. This item 13.7 is a media release from the County of Northumberland. It's correspondence from the County of Northumberland dated February 16th, the media release. Community paramedicine for long-term care program moves forward with funding confirmation from the province. This is really good news for our area and our county. And I've got the notice here. It's 7.5 million in one-time funding between now and 2024. So it's 1.5. The next year, 3 million, and the next year, another 3. So, and this is, they're already doing this in the county, and they've been quite successful, and people really appreciate this program. Be it resolved that the correspondence from the County of Northumberland dated February 16th, 2022, media release community paramedicine for long-term care program be received and filed. Can I have a mover, please? Councillor Hogg. Second by Councillor Phillips. All in favor? Carried. So some of our senior paramedics are moving into positions on paramedicine. 13.8, correspondence from the town of Aurora, dated February 22nd, support a resolution, request to dissolve the Ontario Land Tribunal. I think we had two of these before, and we asked for council information or staff information. Am I right?
Yes, I believe you have. The previous correspondence was forwarded, I believe, to internal staff for further information.
Okay, so we can just receive this one and forward it to that. Be it resolved that the correspondence from the town of Aurora dated February 22nd, 2022, support of resolution request to dissolve the Ontario Land Tribunal be received, and further that council has already directed staff to bring us back a report. Have a mover, please. Councillor Booth and Councillor Phelps. All in favor? Carried. Item 13.9, this is correspondence from Minister of Northern Development, Mines and Natural Resources and Forestry, dated February 18th. And this is outbreak of the LDD moth, previously referred to as gypsy moth. Be it resolved that the correspondence from the Minister of Northern Development, Mines, Natural Resources and Forestry dated February 18th, 2022, outbreak of the LDD moth be received and filed. So there's a letter from Minister Rickford. There's the LDD moth fact sheet. And there's LDD roles and responsibilities in English. I would like to see this go on the website. And now that people are coming back into the office, perhaps we could have a few of the flyers printed and people can pick them up, because we're going to get the calls again if it's anything like last year.
Is it supposed to be?
No. I think it should be a lot less.
A lot less.
Good.
Hopefully.
And if we can get a cold, wet spring, it will be even further less. That's what they're hoping for.
I had a lot of calls on this last year, and what the municipality was going to do, but we don't have the funding. So at least there's some tips here. Some of these people's areas it's harder. So are you okay with that? That they go on the, instead of being received and filed, it'll go on the website for information, and some of these printed as needed for people to pick up when they come in. Okay, moved by Councillor Phillips, second by Councillor Hogg. All in favor? Carries. Item 14 is our bylaw, and 14.1 bylaw is being a bylaw to authorize the Bell Canada for lease land for the wireless communication tower located at 432 Edwardson Road, Grafton. Be it resolved that bylaw number 27-2022, being a bylaw to authorize the signing and execution of an agreement between the Corporation of the Township of Alnwick-Haldeman and Bell Canada for leased land for a wireless telecommunication tower located at 432 Edwardson Road, Grafton, legally described as Park Lot 5, Plot 7, Haldeman, Park Lot 22, 24, Concession 1, Haldeman, Park Road Allowance between Lot 22 and Lot 23, Concession 1, Haldeman, Park 6, 39R6148, Part 1, 39R2987, Part 1 and 2, RDC 89, and Part 1, 39R6891, closed by NC 232064, except Part 7, 39R6148, and Part 1, 39R7392, Alma Caldeman Property Identifier, -511 360228, be read and deemed to be passed this third day of March 2022. Could I have a mover, please, or do you want me to read it again? Moved by Councillor Pope, second by Councillor Hart. All in favor? Carried. Item 14.2, and this is the bylaw number 29-2022, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of a quitclaim deed between the corporation of the Township of Alma Caldeman and Ryan Ray Hogg. Be it resolved that bylaw number 29-2022, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of a quitclaim deed between the corporation of the Township of Alma Caldeman and Ryan Ray Hogg for part of Lot 24 Concession A, Haldeman, and part road allowance between Concession 1 and Concession A, Haldeman, closed by CB 103625, Part 1, 39R6013, Township of Alma Haldeman, be read and deemed to be passed this third day of March 2022. Can I have a member, please? Councillor Booth and Councillor Phil, seconds. All in favor? Carried. Any announcements or notice of motions? Councillor Hogg?
I have noticed.
Okay. Next, I'd just like to bring council up on a couple of things. The building of the Golden Plow Lodge is going along as scheduled. So it's coming. So hopefully we hit the target of late this year. And if you go on Northumberland County's website, Eileen Lum, and she's our tourism person in economic development, did some really nice articles on Northumberland County, right across the county, on places to visit, places to eat, and places to do Christmas shopping and all that. It was really nicely done. It's worth looking at. So they're doing them quarterly. And for the first quarter, she does have some. They didn't spend quite as much money because of COVID. So we'll look forward to some of her presentations on that website to bring in tourists. And she does a really nice job on it. So I was quite impressed. So I thought I'd mention it to council. We also had at the economic development meeting, Albert Botha from our township, and he was representing Southeastern Ontario Production Accelerator Fund. So he's part or works with that group. He's going to make a presentation through delegation at the county about this. And he did speak at our committee meeting yesterday. And at this point, we've recommended to county council to move forward with whether or not we're able to set up an office and have a staff person that would join all the municipalities together. The rules would all be one rule coming into Northumberland County, basically, if productions were to come here. And Port Hope gets a lot of that, Coburg gets a lot of that. So, and it's picking up. I guess Kingston has quite a bit of production in their town, and they get Toronto and they get from the States. Coburg last week when I was in there was decorated at Town Hall and west on King Street like Christmas, and they were filming. Somebody said a Netflix film, I don't know. I just heard that. But so it's coming this way, And hopefully Northumberland County will be able to benefit from all that. So I was thinking, it also helps our hotels, could help our bed and breakfasts as we get that going, Airbnbs, and our tourist industry here, because there are a lot of people who come that need to stay for a few days, so restaurants and the works, St. Anne's, wherever, Northumberland Heights, be good. So that's just a little brief on that. And I have some exciting news that I was quite excited about. I got 2 days ago, I got a email and I forwarded on to Pat. She's got me a letter done up to send congratulating CBM, the aggregate people. And this letter I received from Richard Hillier, and he's the one of the Ontario aggregate people. And this was the news release for CBM Aggregate's Shelter Valley Pit Award. We are excited to announce that CBM Aggregate's Shelter Valley Pit in the township of Elmwood-Haldeman has received the 2021 Progressive Rehabilitation Award from the Ontario Stone, Sand and Gravel Association. Please see the attached documents for more information. It was too late to get it on this agenda, so Pat's going to bring it to the next agenda. Yolanda and I were looking up because it said pictures attached. We haven't seen 2021s yet. They were up to 2022. So whether we can get those pictures, but I think that's quite a compliment for our aggregate people. So that'll be on our next agenda. And I wanted to get the letter out as quick as possible for the congratulations from council. Hope you don't mind that. And Rosemead Fair is selling tickets for their annual lottery. The tickets are $20. The first draw is March 5th, and the winnings are $25 a week. There's 31 chances to win. Long weekend draws are $75, and the grand prize will be drawn at the fair, and it's $500. So that's a good announcement for us to share with them. Tickets are available at the Trails End in Alderville, or you can call 905-352-3778 and order tickets, which you can buy, or you can e-transfer money. And if that can go on our website, good fundraiser for them. That's what I have to, except for the flying of the Ukraine flag and sponsoring, or not sponsoring, but supporting Ukraine. It's on our signs now throughout the township. And I know Troy's ordered a Ukraine flag that should be here shortly, that we'll be able to fly. Great, Troy?
That is correct. That's correct.
Okay. Council's all okay with that?
So that'll just be at town hall, right?
The flag?
Yeah.
Yes.
And does it go below the Canadian flag, Troy, or I'm not sure what the protocol is?
Yeah, I'll go online and double check, but I do believe it's right below the Canada flag.
Great, thank you.
And we have quite a Ukraine community down at Class Road Summer Community, so good to support. Very worrisome, I find. Okay, that's it from me. We can pass Sherry right now.
Yeah,
To Council Bill.
And I have no comment today, thank you.
Okay. Councillor Booth?
Yeah, through you, your worship, maybe to Troy. Troy, can you clarify something for me? I had somebody call me yesterday and I think I gave them the right answer, but I'm not sure. And it was regarding Land Labs put something on Facebook about a town hall meeting. They just wanted to know if that was through the town or was it through Land Labs? Could you just clarify on it? Just so the public knows.
Sure, yes. I have also received many calls wondering if we're involved and why are we involved.
We can't hear you, Troy.
Can you hear me?
Just barely.
Not very well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Better.
So I also have received a number of calls regarding this. It is posted on social media. Lakeport Beach Winter Town Hall. Not sure why the town hall, but it's created a lot of calls into the office. I will tell council and the public that, I met with them last week. They are doing this EA study all on their own. Staff are not involved. I reassured the people that called me that council's not involved. However, they will provide the township, me, information from these studies. They are well aware that they're not to bring anything back on the table or try to bring anything back on the table till the year is up. So staff is not putting any time into it. This is all them doing their studies and getting more information on the piece of property in Lakeport.
Okay, good. With a lot less words.
Well, they have to do the EA study. There's no cost of that at all for the municipality. The developer does all that. That's quite a chunk. So, did you say they're submitting information?
They will provide the township the information that their findings or whatever, their studies. They'll provide it to the township and the public. So they want to keep it all in public and so everyone can see. So I'm sure they'll provide Jennifer just for information their findings.
Which they have to do. They have to do that. So my question is, are they providing just information prior to the year being up?
I don't know their plans. All as they said is they're going through with some studies and they'll provide it to the township just for information. They're not doing any
to do the EA.
Yeah. Yeah, they know that they cannot bring anything to council within the year since they've been denied. So they're well aware of that. So they're just going through doing their own thing at their own speed. It's no staff involvement. They're just, if they provide this information, they can. So within that year, that's up to them.
It's just, I just have a question. If there's no decision to be made until the year is up, do we receive information? That where there's no decision being made, it's information that's coming in. I don't get why we wouldn't just take that information and you get it slower.
Well, we can receive the information. We can receive any information they want to provide.
Yes.
So if they provide it, we'll receive it. If not, so be it. We'll wait until that year is up and then they'll go through the steps, whatever they need to do through our planning.
Yes, according to the procedural bylaw, there can't be another decision made until after September 2nd.
That's correct. And no
Yeah.
decision will be made And there'll be no staff time put into it until they go through the proper steps, which will be after September. However, if they want to provide us information, that's up to them, they will. If not, they won't. So I do know, obviously on social media, they're holding a public thing. They did use the word town hall. It's not being held at town hall. There's no involvement with the township right now whatsoever. So I just want to really make that clear. Jennifer's not involved. So
She should be involved, in my opinion. She's the planner. But so what they've actually done then is referred to it as the term town hall, like a town hall meeting. That's probably what it is. I haven't seen it.
yeah, it's called Lakeport Beach Winter Town Hall Discussion. So people were just misled thinking that after it's been denied by council that we're still hosting these discussions, and that is not the truth. So there's nothing until after September that we can do as a township. So
So really, Troy, the public wasn't misled. They misinterpreted it.
But fair enough. That's fine.
Yeah, because it's just a town hall forum Zoom. Do we know when it is?
Yes, I do. March 22nd, 7 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else or any further questions?
No, I just wanted that clarified, that's all. And the public then, can sign up if they want. I think they're asking for you to sign up if you would like to attend that. And it sounds like it's an information session, which is fine.
Okay.
And that's it for me. You brought up the flag, which was greatly appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, now we're on to 16.1. Following the adjournment of the regular council session of Thursday, March 3rd, 2022, the Council of the Township of Alnwick-Haldeman will be holding a closed session in accordance with section 239, 2B and E of the Municipal Act 2001, as amended, to discuss personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, and litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board, with the CAO, acting clerk, and deputy clerk remaining in attendance. Our acting clerk is absent today. So the confirming bylaw number 3022. Be it resolved that bylaw number 30/2022, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the regular council session held on Thursday, March 3rd, 2022, be read and deemed passed this third day of March 2022. Have a mover, please. Councillor Booth, second by Councillor Hogg. All in favor? Carried. Motion to be resolved that the regular council session of Thursday, March 3rd, 2022 will be adjourned at 1:58 p.m. Thanks, everyone. And
A mover.
oh, right, a mover. Mike, he moved it, great second. And we'll return, what, 15 minutes?
Council members, yeah.
2:50.